Hey, welcome back guys. So today on this video, we are talking about Wells Fargo checks, and more specifically, I'm going to quickly answer a question I've been getting a lot on one of my other videos, and that is how do you get a voided Wells Fargo paper check? So let's go ahead and talk about this. First off guys, this is going to be a really quick video, not too many steps involved, so be sure to stick around to the end of the video. But why would you need a voided out Wells Fargo check anyways? Well, that's pretty easy. Maybe you're an online creator and one of your clients wants to pay you through ACH or through direct deposit, and they requested that you send them one of your voided out Wells Fargo checks. Whatever the case is, it's a pretty easy process. Be sure to check my video description. I'll try to leave all the written instructions there as well. But here in front of us, we have an image of a Wells Fargo paper check. Now, in order to get a Wells Fargo paper check, a couple of different ways you can do that. One is if you have a checking account with Wells Fargo, you probably received a book of checks. Now, checks aren't really that common these days, so maybe you've thrown them away or shredded them, or maybe you ran out, and that's okay. The next easiest way to get an image of your Wells Fargo check is by logging into your Wells Fargo account. Once you go into your Wells Fargo account, you want to go under transaction history and then sort that by paper checks. What that's going to do is going to show you any kind of checks that have gone through your Wells Fargo account. So like maybe if you paid your rent or you paid your mortgage with a paper check, it's going to have an image of that. You can actually go ahead and print one of those off, and we can use that as a voided out check. If for some reason you don't have any paper checks in your possession and you don't have access to the internet to print off one of your used Wells Fargo paper checks, you would then have to go into a Wells Fargo branch and then ask them for temporary checks. I think they sell them in batches of 3. So that's kind of annoying that you have to go into the branch. So hopefully you can go ahead and log into the account to print off a used check. So once you have an image of your Wells Fargo paper check, in order to void the check, it's pretty simple. All you're going to do is just right here in the middle in large letters, just write void, V-O-I-D. Because the main purpose of a voided out check for Wells Fargo is whoever you're going to be paying or whoever's setting up the direct deposit, they want to make sure that you have the correct routing number, which is going to be right down here on the bottom left, and then the correct account number. Because if they just ask you to send it over, if there's a data entry error on your part or on their part, it is possible that your money is going to go to someone else. So by providing this check image with the word void in there, it makes sure that they receive the correct account number and correct routing number. And then by writing void here, it lets any other bank that receives this paper check from Wells Fargo, it lets them know that the check is no good. You actually cannot cash it because it has the word void here. Now, if you went online and then printed out an image of a check that you already used, then what you can do is you can go ahead and use a black marker and then scribble out the name of the pay to order, and that's to protect their privacy. And then also you can do the same thing with your signature down here on the bottom right. Just use a black marker and then just black it out, and that way no one can see it. And then same thing if you have some sort of private information written down here in the memo, you can go ahead and black that out. The only thing you don't really want to black out is going to be this information down here on the bottom, the routing number and the account number. Also, when you are voiding out a Wells Fargo paper check, you can go ahead and write void here in the middle. That should be sufficient. Or if you're more cautious, you can go ahead and write void down here on the bottom right, and then void up here in small letters and wherever you like. And that way it's going to be much more difficult for anyone to go ahead and remove the word void and use your Wells Fargo paper check for anything nefarious. So just to recap, the reason these folks are asking for a voided out Wells Fargo paper check is mainly just to get this information down here at the bottom, which is going to be your routing number and account number. In that way, if that company does a data entry error and they send your money to someone else, it's not going to be your fault because you clearly gave them the correct information directly from Wells Fargo, which is printed on your paper checks. So there you have it, guys. If you're wondering how to get a voided Wells Fargo paper check, that's the easiest way I know how to do it. If you know an easier way, be sure to leave a comment below. Let the rest of us know how you did it. Hopefully you found that video useful. If so, click thumbs up or maybe consider subscribing to my channel, and I hope to see you on the next video. Thanks again for watching.